If you can't make it to Broadway, we're bringing Broadway to you each and every week, right here on The Broadway Show. I'm Tamsen Fadal. I'm so glad you're joining us. Emmy and Golden Globe winner Jean Smart back on Broadway for the first time in 25 years. It's the new solo show, Call Me Izzy. Let's send it out to Paul Wontorek.
Jean Smart, welcome back to Broadway.
Thank you.
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Last time you were here, let's see, it was The Man Who Came to Dinner,
Yeah.
right? Tony nomination. And then so many things happened to you. Your career, I love your career. Because you get to do so many.
You can't have it.
You get to do so many things.
No, I can't explain it. I'm extraordinarily blessed, especially in the last 10 years or so.
When you look back at your career and how it all started, it really started here.
Yeah.
It really started like, you know, walking these streets, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Looking for the next gig.
Yeah, no. I mean, I did a play. It was off, you know, a little workshop play, and then we did it off Broadway, and it started my whole career.
Yeah. So Call Me Izzy, I'm very excited. Brand new play.
Yeah.
One woman show. That's quite a lift.
Yeah.
Is that daunting at this point in your career?
The idea of it was very daunting.
Yeah.
Once we started doing it, I thought, okay, I think I can do this. And it really is just kind of in the last week, finally really clicked.
Have you ever done something like this? Like a long monologue show like that? I mean, it's literally just you.
The longest speech I've ever had was in a Christopher Durang play called Laughing Wild.
Oh, yeah.
It's basically about a 30-minute speech if we're just sitting in a chair talking to the audience and having a nervous breakdown.
Right.
And so it's a lot of non sequiturs, and so that was hard to learn, and that was a little scary. And I'm good at learning lines, but that was scary. But I was also in my 30s and had more brain cells, so I wasn't sure how this was going to work out. But yeah, knock wood.
What about this story do you think got to you?
I just fell in love with her so much, and I thought that it was an extraordinarily unique piece of writing. This woman who got married at 17, lives in a trailer park, and this stunning poetry just pours out of her, but she has to hide it. And I just thought everything about it was unique and wonderful, and I just fell in love with her.
And so when you dug into the actual words of it and got into the rehearsal room, what was it like actually learning it, and has it been easy to?
It didn't come as quickly as many things. This is extraordinarily well written, but it jumps around in time often, things like that. So that's just one of the things that made it a little bit harder to learn. Plus, I'm voicing, I think, 8 other people. 90% of it is Izzy, but the rest of it is her husband, her teacher, her neighbor, an older couple that she meets briefly, a cowboy she picks up. It's just like, you know, this is just, I'm telling a story, and it's sort of, they're filtered through the lens of Izzy.
I love the wide range of characters you get to play in your career. You know,
I've been so lucky. I haven't been pigeonholed.
I love you on Hacks. I'm so thrilled that Hacks happened for you. It's been
so am I.
It's been such a delight to watch you do it. And obviously, you know, you're playing a famous person on Hacks, and now you're playing sort of a woman in a trailer and very working class. And there's a nice range of humanity on your resume.
Yeah.
So what do you love about somebody like Izzy?
Yes, I love her optimism. I love her humor. I love her love of language, her love of nature. She's a survivor, and she still has optimism. She still has joy, even when she goes through really, really, really rough time.
So you're here for a nice summer run.
Yeah.
You're sort of in between the spring and the fall season, but it's like a nice special summer treat.
Yes, I hope so. I mean, I know a lot of people leave the city in the summer, but I hope if they're back sometime in August, they'll really catch the end of it. And judging from the audience's reaction, they're having so much fun with the humor in the play. Yeah. They're just getting it more than I ever could have dreamed, but also to the very, unfortunately, kind of dark parts of the story. They seem to be just riveted on. So that's been very, very gratifying, and it's a wonderful story about an extraordinary woman, and the ending is kind of a little ambiguous. So you have to make up your mind about what you think that actually happens at the end.
Pick up my suitcase, it's got a decade of heft.
Go make it count now, enjoy the time you have left.
Maybe Happy Ending won big at the Tony Awards, including the top prize, Best New Musical. I sat down with one of the stars of Maybe Happy Ending, Helen J Shen. Maybe Happy Ending, but it's like maybe happy beginning for you in so many ways.
Oh, that is such a lovely way to put it. I think it's been sort of around a year since I auditioned and did my first callback and found out that I was going to be going on this journey, and needless to say, it's been quite the year of just dream coming true after dream coming true. This is beyond anything I could have ever dreamed. I think even if I had tried to manifest something like this, it wouldn't have been even this good. The biggest dream was even getting to do it for an audience and bringing this incredible story and vision to audiences every night. And I get to do that 8 shows a week. I'm going tonight to do another one, and it just keeps surprising me and continues to teach me lessons about life that I just feel very grateful for. And then to have accolades and outside external validation on top is cherries on top.
What are some of the lessons you think you walk away from just because of the story and because of how different the story is too?
Bringing a show like Maybe Happy Ending, a lesson that I'm learning is that people are hungry and excited to listen to different stories and be surprised and go into a theater not knowing what they're going to expect. And that's been really lovely to bring that gift to people. And then the piece itself has such beautiful musings about mortality and being grateful for the little things in life and the little moments, maybe that seem quiet on paper, but are the little gems of life that we can then point to and really, I think like our Firefly moment is a great example of when we stop to smell the roses and we stop to actually appreciate how beautiful life can be. That's how we can connect with other people.
Where it started on Broadway to where it is right now, could you have imagined that when it came out of the gate?
100% no. No, not at all. I think our tech is so glorious and so expansive and takes us all on such a transporting journey, but the story itself already does that without all of the bells and whistles. It's a wonderful addition to have those things, but when we were in rehearsals, we knew that the story was really special. We knew that Will Aronson and Hugh Park's work was just something that we all really wanted to do right by.
You look at it, and I know there's a lot of young girls that come into New York every single day and are like, okay, that's what I want to do one day. And and you've done that. You've captured that brass ring. What does that feel like? Because there's responsibility that comes with that.
Totally. I feel like I stand on the shoulders of so many who have come before me. I have since been able to speak to a lot of the titans that I looked up to growing up, and their work told me that it was possible for me to pursue something like this. And so I feel that when I go out to Stage Door every night and I see little kids at the stage door who have their minds opened in this way for the first time, that feels really exciting. And yeah, to be able to pursue my dreams and do something like this and sing for a living, tell stories for a living is such a privilege. I feel the weight of like my family's sacrifices. I feel the weight of the fact that there's people championing art and continuing to make that possible for people. And to add to that canon is really humbling. I'm really excited about it.
It's time to take a walk with a Broadway star, so let's send it out to Charlie Cooper.
She's the queen of the castle.
Get down, you dirty ass. Go get down.
Krystal, thank you so much for letting us walk you to work today.
Thank you so much for having me.
In chaotic New York.
Yes, indeed, indeed.
We're so excited to be here. Excited to be like walking you to work and kind of hear more about your journey. I have a big question for you though, because this almost didn't happen. You almost didn't go to the open calls.
Can you believe it?
I
know.
What changed your mind, and why didn't you almost go?
Because I think at the time they had put out this notice for future replacements, and I think that has such a sort of like stigma of being like, oh, so they're not really casting for anything. But you don't know what happens behind closed doors or what they're actually looking for or whatever. And I had some really wonderful people in my corner that pushed me to go and just said, listen, this is what you've worked so hard for, you might as well just try. So I'm really happy I did. Because
And
now
look, we're trying, got you.
Yes.
Insane. Okay, let's walk.
Okay.
I know that you saw this show in 2019, and when you were watching it on stage, could you have ever imagined that you would literally be in a role
No.
in the show?
No, I think I loved the show so much and I thought it was such a fun show that I was like, wow, how cool would it be to be in it? But I actually never thought I would be, despite having a lot of training from show choir. From my high school years, it basically is that, because we used to like change formations every like 4 counts and things like that. So that was really awesome to have the opportunity to do it.
You are Anna of Cleves in the show, and you just own it. Like literally, you bring the spice, you bring the heat, you bring the flavor, all of the things. Seriously, like Get Down is yours. Like watching you just perform that, I'm like, she knows she's that girl.
Thank you so
Where do you
much.
get that like confidence? Where do you draw that from?
Well, my queenspiration is Cardi B.
Okay.
Because I
Love
think
that.
she's just so unapologetically herself.
Yeah.
And she doesn't care what anyone else says about her, which I think is so Cleves coded. Henry, you know, his whole thing is that she doesn't look like her profile picture, but at the end of the day, she was really the most beautiful woman in Germany. So she's rolling up being like, huh?
Right.
I don't know what you're talking about. And that's the energy.
I love that you are a Latina woman standing in this role. There's so much diversity in the show
Yeah,
as well.
for sure.
Talk to me a little bit about just that representation and the importance of that.
Oh, it means the world to me. I think that as a Latina, like, I have grown up seeing shows like In the Heights and West Side Story and just being like, those were the only things that I could do at the time, right? And then having a show like this where they are never really casting the same way at any time. So it's like, I love that any role could be anything at any time, and it allows the character to speak for itself, which is really great.
Well, thank you so much. And listen, Break a Leg, you've been killing it, and we're so grateful that you allowed us to walk you to work.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. Come
Break a
see
leg.
Six.
By the time this ad is over, you could have already booked your ticket to Oz, Chicago, Hell's Kitchen, or the room where it happens. For 25 years, Broadway.com has been the most trusted name in theater tickets. With lightning fast checkout, legendary customer service, award-winning content. Because Broadway isn't the add-on to your trip to New York. It's the reason for it. Broadway.com, your ticket to Broadway for 25 years.
Thanks so much for sticking around. I'm Tamsen Fadal. The revival of Sunset Boulevard won big on Tony Night, Best Revival of a Musical, and Best Actress in a Musical for Nicole Scherzinger. Now, director Jamie Lloyd has more huge projects on stage and coming soon. Let's send it out to Beth Stevens.
This summer, you are again directing Evita with Rachel Zegler.
Yeah.
How did you know that she should be your new Eva? And what are you trying to build together with her?
Well, she is a remarkable talent. I mean, she's exceptional. And she's just such a good person and such a lovely person. Talking about an open mind and an open heart, she's like so ready to kind of come into that rehearsals with that kind of spirit of kind of collaboration and exploration. But I love that it's kind of like a new gen version of Eva Peron. You know, also we have Diego who's playing Che. They're much younger than they usually are. The entire cast is. So it really is trying to kind of recreate a kind of Evita for a new generation. And the kind of production has the energy of a kind of a pop gig, like a high concept kind of like pop concert. You know, this kind of rags to riches story kind of told through a metaphor of like, you know, like a pop icon being created in front of your eyes. So I can think of no one better than Rachel to really gonna go on that journey and to sing these songs in a way that you've never heard before, because she's an unbelievable vocalist. But also like Nicole, she knows what it's like to live under the public eye, to be scrutinized, you know, in such detail. And, you know, that gives her, you know, again, an insight perhaps into Eva Peron's life. So there's something about that I find very intriguing.
And even looking farther down the road, in the fall, you have Waiting for Godot with Alex Winter and Keanu Reeves, your Bill and Ted.
Yep.
and you're going to go on an excellent or maybe existential adventure with them.
Yeah.
What do you think they're going to bring to that work that's going to surprise people?
Well, what I love about them, they're such great people, is that they've obviously been friends for over 40 years. The play ultimately is about companionship, it's about friendship, you know, clinging on to friendship in the midst of, you know, a terrible situation or a very bleak situation, and kind of the comfort that you find in that. And so, of course, their friendship comes for free, is that they have this amazing chemistry, this amazing kind of shared humor. You can't teach that, you know, so they're gonna bring that. They're gonna bring this sense of like having lived a whole life together. And it's amazing when you hear them read the play together, as I've been doing recently, you know, in terms of the kind of rhythm, Beckett's kind of very specific kind of almost like vaudevillian rhythm, is just, they've just got it to a T, you know, that they kind of work off each other so brilliantly. But also it's like, so they get all the humor of it, but they get the kind of depth of their friendship, the depth of their lives. You know, two men who are, you know, who are turning 60, believe it or not.
Wow.
Who, you know, are bringing that whole life experience to that play. I think it's going to be really, really original and really, really fascinating to kind of watch them kind of create those roles afresh.
Cabaret at the Kit Kat Club isn't just a show you watch, it's a show you fully experience, featuring amazing performances, incredible costumes, and an unbelievable set design. Here's an exclusive musical performance from the Broadway.com studio.
Everybody loves a winner, so nobody loved me. Lady peaceful, lady happy, that's what I long to be. All the odds are in my favor, something's bound to begin. It's got to happen, happen sometime. Maybe this time I'll win. Everybody.
It takes a whole lot of people to keep a Broadway show running, from the stars on stage to the orchestra in the pit and all the people behind the scenes. Our man Perry is on the town.
So we are backstage of the Gershwin in the stage management office with the lady herself, Sel. This is crazy. The emotion, the energy. We're about to start a show. So tell me how you came to Wicked.
So I graduated college, and my first gig, I would say, was to be an intern for Mary Beth, who is the production stage manager at Wicked. She was here when I was an intern more than 10 years ago. And I went to do many shows. I was on the road when I was 20s. I went to 42 states, I think, in America, because I did a lot of tours. Then I came back to New York City, and my lovely friends, two lovely stage managers, decided to leave Wicked after pandemic. I was the luckiest person at the time that they chose me to be a part of this production, and I feel very lucky still.
So a show as massive as this, I mean, you've got flying bubbles, you've got, you know, flying witches, you've got all sorts of things going on, and you're there, you know, kind of running the whole rehearsal. Is that extra pressure?
Oh, yes, every day. Every day there's the extra pressure because this show is so loved by everybody. Every day I start the show and I was like, you know what? I was that girl, I really loved this show, so I feel a little pressure that I need to do a good job for the audience or the girl I was like 20 years ago. Pretty much we have a great day and then we have fun at work, yeah.
All right, I might be as much of a fangirl of Wicked as you are. Do you mind showing me around?
Oh, I don't mind it at all. I can show you the calling station where we call the show.
Let's do it.
Okay.
So this is actually where the magic happens. This is where you call it from.
Yes, this is where we call. It's fantastic. We have a view of the stage right here. We don't have to use a monitor, but we have the monitor.
So how many cues are you calling out of this thing? How many light cues are there in this show?
So we have almost 300 cues.
Almost 300 light cues,
yeah.
And that's not talking about the automation and all the
no,
magic.
Yes, because we would flip these switches for automation and autofly and a rail. But yeah, we have 300 cues for lights.
Just remarkable. So I know how amazing and wonderful this show is to me, but I gotta ask you, I normally say, what does Broadway mean to you? But it is the 20th anniversary of Wicked. What does Wicked on Broadway mean to you?
It really means everything to me. I know a lot of people say their favorite show is Wicked, but mine is Wicked. I was listening and singing along with their original cast member, album. I was translating English to Japanese, the Wicked lyrics, just because I loved it so much. And I think if I didn't meet Wicked when I was middle school, I don't think I would be here, meaning I don't think I would have chosen this profession without Wicked.
And that's going to do it for us. But for tickets, or if you want to see extended cuts of all these interviews, head over to Broadway.com. And be sure to check out The Broadway Show Uncut, wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Tamsen Fadal, and this is The Broadway Show.